Good morning. Hello, it's Jose here from El Hotel Cocarel. What are we? Wednesday, the 5th of July. I thought to myself, I'd have a look around quickly this morning to all the news to see if there's any further updates today so I can keep on point of where we are now. As the title says, what's your opinion on the transfer window so far? From the channels and from all the comments that I could see on all the channels I've been watching, we have a very diverse fan base. Now, I'm not sure whether every fan base is like Tottenham or whether it's just Tottenham that have this type of fan base. You can't make everyone happy. Is what I've noticed is just that, if we sign a player, some people say good, other people say and make up a reason as to why it's not good. And there's conspiracy theories to any signing that we're making. So I just want to see what the opinion was. I mean, to me, we signed three what we call new players, but we've actually signed more in my eyes because of loans that have been made good. So they're now our players. So therefore they are a signature and a new signing. And then we've got players that we've not seen or that were injured last year that could also be deemed to be a new signing because they haven't played. So at the moment we have Dejan Kulusevski and Pedro Porro. They are signings because we've had to sign them this window. So they are signings. Then we have Vicario. We have Maddison. And so we're led to believe on Thursday, tomorrow, we will sign Manor Solomon. And then I look at players such as Bissouma. He only played the last 4 games of the season, but prior to that being injured, playing out of position, playing a totally alien football to himself. So for me, the sample size is too small. So for me, Bissouma could be seen as another new player. Not signing, but a new player. And then you've got all the players that are coming back from loan now. We don't know who Ange is obviously in the building, has been in the building since Saturday. On Tottenham or Spurs player, I don't know where I've seen it, but there's clips already of the players arriving for training. There's clips of the players training and that. So, and Ange is there. So the conversations with Ange have probably started. So although we can speculate as much as we want as fans, conversations are taking place at Hotspur Way. Ange is obviously having these conversations and formulating what his plans are, because obviously we've got to go out on pre-season tour in a couple of weeks' time, or just over a couple of weeks. Well, it's a couple of weeks' time. We're going to go out on tour, and he'll probably want to take a touring party that he sees will be in his first team plans or as close as to his first team plans going forward. Those that are not in his plans would more than likely be left behind and asked to secure other clubs. But yeah, the window thus far. So with Vicario, you have a goalkeeper whose stats stack up. If we're going to look at stats, if it's on the eye that we're talking about, there's a lot of people that have said that they've watched him play and he's a decent goalkeeper. So and there's quite a few people that I've seen are really, really happy with the signing. But then you've got the others that say, well, we wanted David Raya and we've gone for bargain basement because he's just under half the price. However, if you follow people like Sean Butler on Spurs Talk Show, he done a whole piece on it. I don't know, he uses Y-Scout on that, and he done a whole piece on it. And Vicario's stats against Raya were really, really favourable. You also got Ash Matic from Southview Coys. He does stuff like that as well. Really interesting to see what these guys do on their channels. Very informative. And the stats again stack up for Vicario as opposed to Raya. So for me, I can't say that I've watched much of Vicario. I've seen, the thing is, I watch Italian football because I have BT Sports, so I watch Italian football, but it's not somebody that I was looking out for, and it's not, and you watch a game here and there, but I don't think not many goalkeepers have electrified me whilst I've been watching them in Italian football or even in European football. I don't go out of my way and say, "Oh, he's absolutely brilliant." He is. I think Onana. The only time I watched Onana play was in the Champions League final. Mike Maignan of AC Milan, watched him when he played against Tottenham. So really, yeah, I can't say that I've watched these players. So I'm relying on opinions from other people, from other YouTubers from the Tottenham community, who have seen far more of him than what I have. And generally, I'd say the higher proportion of people that talk about Vicario actually rate him. So therefore, to me, good signing. And if Ange has spoken to him, because the one thing about this is that I trust in Ange. I think what you see is what you get with him. And he doesn't shy away from conversation. He will have that courageous conversation with anybody. So therefore, if he's spoken to Vicario and he's wanted Vicario, then I want Vicario. James Maddison. So with James Maddison, we've got James Maddison, £40 million deal. James Maddison would get into any of the sides here in England, in my opinion. So when I say get into any of the sides, he would get game time with any of the sides. Whether your team rotates or doesn't rotate, he would get game time with all the sides here in the Premiership. 1 year left on his contract. We've bought him for 40 million. Let's forget about Winks for the moment. Let's just look at this deal on its own. Got him for 40 million. When the other day, on the same day or thereabouts, you had the announcement of 3 signings of Havertz to Arsenal, Mount to Man U, and Maddison to Tottenham. Break it down quite simply. You look at it and you think to yourself, well, okay, so Havertz has gone to Arsenal for 65 million, and he has last season had 10 goal contributions. That's either goals or assists. 10 goal contributions. Mason Mount has gone to 60 to Man United and had 5 goal assist contributions. And then you look at Maddison on a team that got relegated, and he has 19 goal contributions. So then you look at yourself and you think, wow, who's got the better deal out of the 3 clubs? And I looked at it and I thought to myself, it's a no-brainer. It's got to be Tottenham. And then you look at it even deeper and deeper still. And I thought about it. So initially it was Maddison, and then I thought about this more and more. And the more I think about it, the more and more I look into it, we've got an absolute bargain. However, the fan base will say, yeah, but, if he was 60 or 70, would Tottenham have gone in for him? I think that people forget that Maddison was on the radar last year as well. And the Don and Levy were admirers of him, and whoever last year. But the only person that didn't want him at the time was Conte, because it didn't fit his system. However, we're changing systems now. And with the systems that we change, Ange has also had a conversation with Maddison and gave his blessing that he wanted Maddison. So again, Ange wants him, then yeah, I want him. But it's interesting, you sign a really, really creative, quality player like Maddison, who raises the profile for your team in the sense of there'll be more opportunities. And, with defensive-minded teams that we've had in the last 4 years, we managed to score 68s, 69s and 70s. How many goals are we going to get playing a new attacking system with a creative midfielder that we haven't had since Eriksen? It beggars belief what the fan base actually thinks themselves at times. But yeah, again, it's another good signing. Manor Solomon. So my nephew supports Fulham, and he's a season ticket holder at Fulham, and he's absolutely gutted for Manor Solomon not being signed, or Fulham not following up, or allowing Tottenham to kind of free rein to go and get him. He said that when Solomon was injured and then came back from injury, and he had that spurt where he scored them goals in there, he said that Manor Solomon, he would say that he was like 70-80% fit when he was doing that. And then he had a couple of little niggles after that period that he had, and then he didn't play so much after that. So they're gutted, the Fulham fan base, that they didn't keep, or they didn't go for Solomon. Solomon, the way that I see it, is another one that Ange has given his blessing to. And my faith is in Ange, and I'll keep repeating this, my faith is in Ange. I'm really looking forward to see how he changes us up and what he does with us next season, because we will surprise a lot of teams, because a lot of teams have seen us play for the last 4 years, all defensive minded. They don't have to do much homework. And I've said this before, they don't have to do much homework at all. They'll just come out and say, well, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to do that. And there's no surprises, and they've got us suss from even before we go on the pitch. But with Manor Solomon, he can play a variety of positions out wide. He can play up front. People say he can play as the 8, he can play as the 10 as well. So a good squad player to have, because at the end of the day, what we need is, we need a really good squad. It doesn't have to be a massive squad. We just need a good squad where we're competitive. And if you play a player and then you bring a player on, or you player's injured and you bring a player in, you're not lowering the levels and the standards of the team, pretty much like the bigger teams in the league. And with Solomon, I see it as a good piece of business, because he's 23, I believe. And at 23, he signed a 4 or 5 year deal, and he's 23. And, you bleed him into the Tottenham way of football, and Ange's way of football, and see how he gets on. And if it doesn't work within a couple of years, then there's a sell-on value there. You can sell the asset if it doesn't, improve you or doesn't improve himself. You can then sell the asset, because you bought him in free. So anything you're going to get for him is going to be a bonus. So I actually see it as a shrewd bit of business, not only for now, but for the future. But the biggest elephant in the room is our centre backs and what we do. Now, we all have personal opinions on how many players we think should be coming in, how many players should be going out, who we should get rid of. And quite frankly, you ask any Tottenham supporter, and they could probably name at least 10 players and trip off their tongues. At least 10 players that can go. Now, I had a look at the squad last season, the 25-man squad that we had for last season. And out of them 25, you've lost. Some more are left on free from that 25-man squad. You've got what season that? You've got Longley that went back. You've got Danjuma that went back. So that brings you down to 22. From them 22, as we stand at the moment, from them 22 players, 4 of them were goalkeepers in that squad. 4 of them were included, because they had Whiteman and what's his name? Forget the other keeper's name. They were all in the squad, so we had 4 goalkeepers in the squad. So that brings us down to 22. Then we've got 11 players coming back from loan. So that 22 and 11 makes us 33. Way too big a squad. And in my eyes, we need to get rid. Well, ideally, if 13 of them players went, that still brings us down to 20 in the squad. And then you've got all these other players that we've brought in. So you've got the new players that would count would be 3 further players. So that would even take us, if we got rid of 13, that would still take us to 20. 3 players we've bought would take us to 23. So it's still quite a big squad. And albeit Vicario coming in makes it 5 goalkeepers out of 23. Sorry, the squad would have 5 goalkeepers. So yeah, so I was looking at it and I've heard what fans have said, because the question's been asked on many channels, many thoughts. And yeah, as I said, more players will come up with 10 players that can go, and it'll be 10. Some of the names will be the usual suspects, and some will be some that haven't been included by everyone. But the way that I see it is that if we're really thinking that at least 3 of our centre-halves are leaving, so for centre-halves, I'm going to class the centre-halves as Dyer, Davis, Tanganga, Sanchez, Rodon. Out of them, if 3 of them are to leave, so at the moment, they reckon that Tanganga, Sanchez, and 1 other go. That's 3 defenders that 3 centre-halves you've lost. And that leaves you with Romero, 2 others, and whatever we bring in. Now, if we're going to play 4 at the back, we need to have at least 4 centre-halves. Now, people can say that we're adequately covered and that we can only bring 1 centre-half in. And that would be, at the moment, a toss-up between Mickey van der Ven and Edmund Tapsoba. For me, though, personally, my personal opinion is I would like to bring in, if we lose 3 centre-halves, I'd like to bring 3 in. So not bring 2 in, we lose 3. But if we lose 3, bring actually 3 in. So maybe look at and maybe look at Mickey van der Ven, Edson Tapsoba, and obviously we're looking at Tosin apparently at the moment as well. Now, I would like to, so whatever we lose, I would like to replace at centre-half position, because centre-half position has been our Achilles heel for the last 4, 5, 6 years. Ever since the partnership with Toby and Jan was broken up. Obviously, 1 left 1 season, 1 left the season after. But it plays into, I mean, if you look at this and you think to yourself, or the rumours are, yeah, we can spend up to £400 million and not break FFP, then to me, why aren't we going for 3 centre-halves if that's been our Achilles heel? And it's obvious to the whole world that that's our Achilles heel, and that's where we need to improve. Why can't we just bring in 3? So if you've got Mickey van der Ven for 30, even if you had to pay 40 for Tapsoba, and even if you paid 15 for Tosin, what's that? 70. That's 85 mil. Right. The way that I look at it, that's 85 mil that we probably would need to spend in that ballpark area for them 3. Would we make 85 mil from outgoings? Well, I reckon we would. If we sold each player at 10 mil, then you sell 10 mil thereabouts, then 8 players that you get rid of brings you in that money for them 3. Trims the squad, you get 3 centre-halves you need. Now, people say that, yeah, but you can't do it all in one window. Possibly not, but you can certainly make a real good effort to do the chunk of what you need to do in this transfer window. So, because some assets, some people will go and they'll go for a higher price than 10 mil. So, if you look at people like his rumours with Pierre to Atletico Madrid, he's a saleable asset. Let's say you got 30 million for him, then 30 million, you're just under half of the way there to the 85 to bring 3 centre-halves. There's rumours that Perisic is going, or that they'll tear up his contract so he can leave on a free. So you're saving on salary there, and that can be put towards transfer kitty. Because the salaries that we're going to be bringing players in, they're not going to be on 880 grand a week, are they? You've got players like, people are saying there's rumours that people are going, Mr. Boyd, that people are looking at Sessegnon as well. Now, whether that leaves us bare at left back, I don't know, because there's rumours saying that Reguilon's going as well. So you look at all these players, we can get money in, and then you've got the 2 biggest thorns in the bush, so to speak, that sit in the middle of the park in Lo Celso and Ndombele. We don't know what conversations Mr. Postecoglou has had with them two, but you I don't know. Would you see both of them staying? One staying? Both going? At the end of the day, there's deals to be done there, or there's deals that can be done, or at least the sell side. And that's more money in. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you can get rid of some of these players, which I think we can, because I think the positivity that I've seen this time around in this transfer window, very early though, because we are the 5th of July. So basically people started signing players from the 1st, which is only Saturday, and not many got done then. But yeah, people started signing players because contracts finished on the 30th, which is last Friday. But the positivity in the news of coming out from a lot of reliable sources about people actually interested or bidding for our what we classify as deadwood players is actually promising compared to previous years where never heard a dicky bird from anyone and we couldn't get rid of them. Even in a raffle we couldn't get rid of them, and hence why we had 11 people go out on loan. So yeah, that's interesting as well. That's very, very interesting. I just look at it and I think to myself, as a fan base we're so diverse, I'm quite happy where I am now, 5th of July. I've been happy. I've said it in the streams as well. I'm very happy where we are now because the window don't close till the 1st of September. We've got practically a full... Okay, the league starts in 4 weeks, just over 4 weeks' time. But we've got practically, 7 weeks, maybe 8 weeks to try and do more deals in and out. So it's plenty of time. You know, we've only just started. We're in it. The window's in its infancy. It's embryonic stage. So, you know, we've got plenty of time. Now, the other issue that we've got at the moment is, well, not the issue, but it's a glaring one, is are we going for a director of football? Reports are saying that, yeah, we are, and that it should be done soon. With the director of football who knows the market, the European market, let's say, more so, then that director of football helps with his contacts to try and get other players or get the interest in the players that we want to get rid of to other clubs. And we haven't got that at the moment. Although in the background, it came out last week that Don Paratici is still pulling some strings in some sort of capacity at the club. And if that's the case, then his connections at the moment, whether he can have any, I don't think he can have any direct dealings, but he obviously can pass it on to Gavanini and whoever else needs it at the club. But he can put people in contact with his sources and stuff and probably aid and abet and try and help push this along in the meantime whilst we're looking for a DOF. I think people say, yeah, but you shouldn't be associated with him at all and all that. And the way that I look at it is that our club is in disarray anyway, has been for years. So imagine Paratici wasn't there and wasn't helping in the background on a consultancy basis. Would we have signed these 3 players as quickly? Would we have had the rumours of teams interested or making bids for the players that we consider deadwood? I think not. I think having Paratici in the consultancy role in the background is quite a clever move. Yes, we want a DOF, and I'd rather have a DOF who knows the European market, because we certainly got 2 Australian gentlemen that have come into the building that know markets far wider than Europe. Although saying that, Ange has worked in Scotland, so Ange ain't stupid. He knows the European market as well. But I'm talking to the great extent that some of these DOFs can have. So yes, it'd be interesting if we do get a director of football. But to me, I'm actually very pleased where we are with this transfer window today, where we are now. In an ideal world, what I would like, and it's like me playing Football Manager, but yeah, what I would like in the scenario that we're in at the moment, so I'm not playing Football Manager, I'm looking at our scenario that we are at the moment. In the scenario we are at the moment, I would personally go out and get Mickey van der Ven and Edson Tapsoba. If they're the ones that we were putting our eggs in our basket and they're the 2-1, I would go out and get them both done, get them over the line, and then it means that we've got 7 or 8 weeks to ship out some of our deadwood players or the players that we don't surplus to requirements, because Ange just had these conversations. And then once that's happening and that's motoring, because it looks like we're not going to spend money, we're not going to go out and spend money, although we have the money I don't know whether we've got the money to spend, but we have the capacity because of FFP to go far higher with signings. Probably one of the highest in the Premier League, to be honest, with FFP, because we've been so tightly run. But I'd go out and get these players, like I said, and then wait for deals to them for our outgoing players to be done, and keep our irons in the fire with other people or other possibilities that could come in. So therefore, you bring Edson Tapsoba, Mickey van der Ven, get them on board, let them go out on tour, let them learn the Ange way and get to know their teammates and stuff like that, and get to know the players that Ange wants and the squad that we're going to have for next season, and then start getting deals done for some of the players that you don't want. And then once you've done that and you've freed up a bit more space, then go for other players. But you've got to bring your priority players in now. Now, we've bought a goalkeeper, which was priority because Hugo announced at the end of last season that he was leaving. So that's a priority. So that's ticked. Done. The attacking midfielder that wasn't or didn't fit the last 3 managers, well, definitely didn't fit Conte. Well, and so we've not had a crowd midfielder since Ericsson. Well, that's now been ticked. We've got Madders. It's been ticked. The elephant in the room now is the centre-halves. The centre-halves have to be done as a priority. And seeing that was our Achilles heel for all these years, we don't need 1. We don't need 2. We probably need 3. So with Romero, that makes we've got 4. We have 4 decent options. Be good to have a 5th, so you've got that extra cover. But bringing in Mickey van der Ven again. Tapsoba's right-footed but can play left-sided. Mickey van der Ven is left-footed, but then can also cover at left-back. So I think gives you options. You've got options because you've got a Doggy coming. So Doggy, although we bought him last year, he hasn't played, and he's another one I forgot. He's like a new signing, isn't he? He's like a new signing because he hasn't played for us yet. I watched an 11-minute highlight reel on the Doggy yesterday, although I've seen the Doggy, obviously, because I knew he was coming to Tottenham. So every time Udinese played, I'd watch the games to see how he got on, and yeah, he impressed me. He's a good player. But yeah, then you'd have cover. I mean, I throw a left field curveball here and say that I did say on one of the streams that I could see if we were going to keep Porro and Jed Spence at right back, I could see Emerson being converted into a right centre half, so he could provide cover for Romero and also provide cover for the right back role. A bit like what we're saying about Mickey van der Ven. Well, if he can work with Mickey van der Ven, then and then he's a centre half that can play left back. Then why can't we have a right back that can play right centre half? I mean, I don't know. These are just opinions that I have. I'm throwing it out there to you guys. What do you think on what I said? What are your comments? What are your thoughts? Like I said, we are a diverse fan base, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. But as I said, the mainstay for me is today's the 5th of July, and where we stand on the 5th of July, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy where we are. We've done bits and pieces really early on, 5 days into the bloody window open, and we've done bits and pieces already. 3 new players, or 5 new players if you include the 2 that we had to sign. Players coming back from injury, they look really happy, don't they? They look really happy coming through the door at Tottenham Way and going to training and watching some of the clips already, and the reports and the rumours that are coming out that people are engaged in the training sessions at the moment, and there's a buzz in the air, and that's what we want. You've got to start again, and we've got to build, and it starts now. So yeah, in a nutshell, I'm quite happy where we are on the 5th of July. What are your thoughts? Where are you guys on this? Where do you sit? You know, it's just a broad view that I'm giving, and it's a broad view that is not only mine, but from what I can see from the fan base on what they're saying and what they're doing. But yeah, it's over to you guys to see what you think. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a short one. It's a couple of days late, because I normally do them on a Monday to start off with, but I've been so busy with work that I've left it till today. So I might, to make up for it, I might have to do another one at the weekend, or if not, I might just leave it till Monday, because it all depends on what we do. Because I'd like, instead of talking about the daily dross, because I must admit it's gone quiet. The last couple of days has been very quiet. But instead of repeating and rehatching and regurgitating everything that's being done out there already, because all the channels are doing it, and you know, hey, they're out there and on their daily bits and pieces, because they've all got their regular time slots. I like to keep it to once a week at the moment, because I find that there's a lot more to talk about, and by them I can gather opinions of what others think from what I can see on chats on other people, and what the other content creators have got to say and that as well, and then I'll say my opinion. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and I shall see you next time. Thank you.